when did we watch Division III together?
More than
was that 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
That was like one thing we had to do to like break in our friendship, like so you can understand. Number one, welcome to the Tuesday edition of Kranicum. We got a great show for you. But if you haven't seen Division III, which I don't know, is it on Amazon Prime still?
I don't know what it's on.
It was on Netflix for a while.
It was on Netflix.
Division III, we've all seen it. Basically, Andy Dick is a Division III head football coach. It's not kid-friendly, okay, I can go ahead and tell you. But you will, if your sense of humor is somewhat like ours, it's stupid, but it's absolutely hilarious.
Now, y'all have to watch Suckers. See, that was the trade-off.
Is that the one with Vince Vaughn in it?
No, nobody you know. No one you know.
What you were talking about that movie.
You won't be disappointed. Used car salesman. That's all you need to know.
Okay.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Yeah, we can vibe with that. The college football transfer portal is open for the next 15 days. The Eagles give DeVonta Smith a 3-year extension, and Connor McDavid witches his way to become the 4th NHL player ever to hit the 100-assist mark. We're turning up on a Tuesday here on Crane & Company. Better lock in.
On a Tuesday.
Now, on the long journey to try and build the best roster possible for the upcoming season, the spring transfer portal window is basically the last gas station until you get there. It opens today, and while there already been rumored to be some big names that are going to hop in, don't expect this segment of portaling to be nearly as wild as its winter predecessor. You know, the one right after the season that ends on January 2nd. This one's more of the Czech Cola version of the transfer portal. Still really good. I love a Czech Cola and a Faygo, if we're going to be honest, but it's not the top name brand. Now, like I said, that isn't to say it isn't a better deal, but you catch my drift. Because if you're entering the portal right now, it most likely means that something not so great happened during spring practice. Maybe you didn't win that starting job. Maybe that new coach and you don't exactly tango. There's also the possibility of maybe a little bit of off-the-field trouble. Need a fresh start for Breeze Brothers. Now, that isn't to say that teams can't be bolstered by a few last-second pickups along the route. After all, you don't want to build the ship out of the transfer portal. You only want to plug up a few holes before you set sea. And by getting into the program before the summer, there's still time for you to both assimilate and accelerate. So let's let the 15 days of the spring portaling begin. And who knows, for you and your team, the last piece to the puzzle may be in this window. I'm going to bring in my the former Michigan quarterback and my current co-host, David Cohn. Good-looking, tall glass of water he is. And then my other co-host,
accelerate,
the holder of the chat, assimilate, accelerate, investigate.
Put your whole fist in your mouth.
Wait, eating shrimp.
Wait, what?
I got some from Publix yesterday. It was.
Well, we're off to the races today.
I forgot what it's called, but did not agree with me this morning.
Really? Well, good. I'm glad you just told everybody that's listening. I could not have possibly gotten to this next. Don't put your hands on my feet this
Does your tummy hurt?
Well, tell me.
You got a little tum-tum problem. But, David, look, we can go. There's some teams that need some help. I think Alabama's going to be interesting to watch after what we saw during the spring. There's some guys that can help you supplement the roster. If you're waiting to this point to find your golden goose or get the guy in there that's going to turn around all your fortunes, you're playing a very, very dangerous game. Because, look, just like everything in life, timing is everything, and we're kind of at the end of the ship here.
Yeah, and look, guys, we don't make the transfer portal rules. Obviously, they could be better, but we do have to talk about them. So here's the way I see it. Some news, too, before we get to that is Tennessee linebacker Elijah Herring has entered the transfer portal. That's significant because led the team in tackles last year at 79. So we're going to see a lot of names hop in. That's why I'm excited for Brandon Marcello to join us today. But just some teams that are going to be targeting specific positions. You mentioned Alabama, so let's just go there first. Defensive back. I mean, right off the bat, you knew you're losing Terrion Arnold, Kool-Aid McKinstry, going to go to the NFL. We talked, all offseason so far about Caleb Downs going to the Buckeyes, but then also Des Ricks, Trey Amos. I mean, they've lost so much in the secondary. Now, they got a Michigan transfer, Keon Sabb, to help out a little at the safety position, but they're going to be looking to add some cornerbacks. I wouldn't be surprised if they go get the pick of the litter. And some of these teams, like the Georgias of the world, they can go get the picks of the litter. So I'm kind of taking them out of the equation. Texas, Oregon, and LSU, to me, looking for defensive tackles. I mean, if Texas were returning T'Vondre Sweat and Byron Murphy, they'd probably be the number 1 ranked team right now. Oregon's going to need some help at the defensive tackle position. They're going into the Big Ten. LSU, kind of the same situation. I'm interested to see what Ole Miss does at running back. They lost Quinshon Junkins. That's one. It's like they have all the pieces. Lane's such a run-heavy guy. What's he going to do at the running back position? And then offensive line, to me, Michigan losing, I mean, from Joe Moore award-winning offensive lines that they've had the past couple seasons, they lost almost everyone on that line. So Michigan and Missouri, both to me, are going to be looking for offensive line additions.
Yeah, and you bring up defensive tackle. I think that's going to be the most sought-after position in this window.
You think so?
I think that one's going to be. I mean, you look at Texas A&M. You look at a team like Auburn. They needed some more help on the interior. As far as looking around the rest of the country, Washington with Jed Fish is interesting with me with all they lost. I know he's added some pieces, some from Arizona, some from other places. They're going to continue to need to stack up that roster with what they've left. You know, when you look at a team like Alabama or some of these top dogs, it's obviously they're going to be able to go out and get who they want. The rich are always going to get richer in this scenario. But I feel like they're going to lose some people too, right?
Yeah.
Some of these top-level places, it's, not just how much can you intake, but how much can you keep from leaving if a guy wants to start and could go start at a place that's still big. It may not be Alabama, but you need that depth piece. How do you kind of weigh those two as well? But no, I do think defensive tackle is going to be the one with the most emphasis. Quarterback, I mean, at this point, you're either locked in, or I don't see a bunch of quarterbacks going into the market right now that can really help elevate you to maybe a season-changing type situation, unless it's somebody that's at a lower level, that's a higher level player that wants to go play at a bigger level.
Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson did announce that he's going to stay at Alabama.
Yes.
So that was a big one. He's not going to transfer. And then Georgia also had their running back, Andrew Paul, is going to enter the portal. He played in 7 games last year for Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, you're obviously going to see the top teams building depth. But the one thing I'm interested, Elijah Herring, leaving Tennessee, was Tennessee's leading tackler last year. Another one that's kind of big to me is Lambert Smith out of Penn State.
Yeah, the wide receiver.
Their leading receiver last year.
He's already entered?
And he's already entered. We talked about the quarterback problems. How much do they believe in their guy? We saw the backup come in last year for Penn State and do some good things.
Yeah.
And do some good things. That's a big piece if you're losing from Penn State. And I don't think that we need to take the Elijah Herring leaving Tennessee lightly either.
No.
Yeah, that's more interesting to me, because obviously you have a spot that you feel good about. Tennessee is looking to build on what they've done the past couple years. I know last year wasn't as exciting as the Hendon Hooker year, but you look at Nico and the depth that this team at Tennessee has built, and that's what I think's been the difference. So losing a guy like that, a veteran like that, at this point, kind of makes you wonder what's going on.
Yeah, and the Penn State one. I mean, Penn State, the needs that I put down for them was wide receiver.
Yeah.
A couple wideouts.
Well, what was their bugaboo last year? Why couldn't they get over
explosive
the hump
offense,
last year?
right? And so the leading receiver you do have on the team has now entered the portal. That's just a tough loss.
Well, and sometimes you sit here and, to use the Division III quote, you want to trim the fat, but it needs to be the right fat. You can't just trim it all the way down to where there's no meat left on the bone. You don't want to cut into the fat and the meat as far as, looking to try and get that room in the best shape as possible. In Penn State last year, the chemistry wasn't there from a passing standpoint. I know the numbers from a 30,000-foot view look good as far as touchdown to interception ratio for Drew Aller, but the way they had no balance last year offensively. I mean, it's borderline Iowa level of balance. We're talking about the ability to push the ball down the field and the ability to be a threat through the air. So that's going to be an interesting one to watch. We want to know, and we got Brandon Marcello coming on, whatever team you root for, what are you looking for in the transfer portal? Are you happy with where your team's at? But speaking about transfer portal, there's no transfer when it comes to loving animals. I think we all love animals here.
Yes.
We have dogs. Blaine, I'm sure you're going to get one at some point. This next sponsor we have is one of the coolest that we have. They're called Canine Salute. What are they? They're a veteran-founded company that's dedicated to providing healthy treats for dogs to honor and remember our nation's canine heroes who serve in all capacities of the military, law enforcement, fire, search, and rescue, as well as many service dogs that assist people in daily life. It's a fantastic, healthy product. They're treats for your dogs, and every time that you buy a bag of these, and I'm going to give you the promo code here in a second, you're not just treating your dog to a healthy snack. A portion of all the proceeds go towards providing protective vests for police canines nationwide. They do a ton, and again, if you're an animal lover, especially ones that help us out in this capacity, it's totally a win-win, without a doubt.
That's
so
awesome.
Our amazing dogs love us every day, and they serve our communities. Let's love and honor them with healthy Canine Salute treats. Right now, you can get 15% off your order at caninesalute.com with promo code BOOSTER. That's caninesalute.com. Use promo code BOOSTER, that's BOOSTER, for 15% off your order. It's a fantastic company. It's a great product. My dogs absolutely love them, and you're helping out a great cause. So make sure you go to caninesalute.com. Use that promo code BOOSTER and help out some of the animals that help us out while helping your animal out. So let's get to the Booster Club.
All right, Booster Club, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you donate, it's on topic. It will get read. And unless you're Charles Dossett, then I'll wait till the end of the episode. Like always, we're going to start off with Aaron Abbott. Aaron said, what does a good year look like for Arkansas with Pitt and Petrino?
Well, we need to pull up that schedule. I mean, last year, it's basically been an abject disaster, you feel like, for Arkansas. And this is the last leg for Sam Pittman. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. Even though they're super excited about Cal down there, I'm happy for the basketball program.
And he got a transfer in from Kentucky yesterday.
Yeah, which one did he get? Was it Wagner?
No.
Or was it the big Yugoslavian or whatever, that big left-handed tree?
I'm looking it up now.
All right, I got the Arkansas schedule right here if you want.
Yeah, let's go through it real quick.
You got Pine Bluff week 1. Hopefully that's a win. You go to Oklahoma State week 2.
Big moment early.
All right, UAB at home, not a walk in the park. You go to Auburn, A&M at home, Tennessee at home, LSU at home.
Really?
Go to Mississippi State, Ole Miss at home, Texas at home, Louisiana Tech at home, and you end the season at Missouri.
I mean, you got to get to a bowl game. I think with that schedule, with it, being as home heavy as it is early, I know you do go to Oklahoma State. It's all going to come down to whether Green can throw the ball effectively or not. That's what it's going to come down to. I thought he actually looked pretty good in the spring game. Not that I'm expecting him to be Drew Brees or Dan Marino from a pinpoint accuracy standpoint. That's really not who he is. But he runs the ball well enough where if he can just throw it okay, Arkansas can move the ball up and down. And I tell you what, man, after watching what Dan Enos did with that offense, I feel like it's borderline criminal. After watching Arkansas and Petrino with the pieces that he has down there, I'm hesitant to believe in Arkansas because of what they did to me last year, because I believed in them last year, and they were one of the few that I was pretty off base with. But I tell you what, if Green can continue to progress, I think depth on defense is a big question. But T-Will, man, there's a part of me that believes in Travis Williams down there.
The Oklahoma State out-of-conference game is a fun one.
That'll be a big test early. That could be a big confidence gainer, all right, or a big, oh no, here we go, Sam Pittman's really on his way out. You'll find out about Green early in that one.
And the transfer is Zvonimir Izvizic.
Big white?
Yeah.
Big 7-footer?
The big white.
The big white.
The big white from Kentucky to Arkansas. Calipari brought him over.
Yeah, the great white. Well, they're the only people that can understand each other. That's his interpreter.
All right, let's go to David S. He said, hashtag Ask Crane Company, what kind of second-year leap are you guys expecting to see from Graham Mertz?
Shoot, man. He overperformed last year, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I just want him to play as well as he did last year. If I'm a Florida fan, I need everything else to hurry up and help out from a defensive standpoint, special team standpoint. I think you're going to see him continue to get better. I think his confidence is obviously going to be up after going through a year in the SEC and putting together a top 50 offense in the country. The question is what's around him, right? I know Eugene Wilson's a problem, but you did lose Pearsall. You lost a couple of those other pieces, but I know Billy Napier in Florida's kind of been the butt end of the joke, but they're still going to have players. I think Graham, again, everybody's talking about DJ Lagway, and he is the future. I would be excited if I was a Florida fan about DJ Lagway, but I don't think Graham Mertz still is getting the respect he deserves coming off the year he had left.
Pearsall is such a huge loss, but the Eugene Wilson, the third kid,
he's a freak.
I mean, he's so good.
And you lose ETN too, but I'm going to be honest with you. After watching that Georgia game, and I know Paul got in the transfer portal, it looked like ETN was their third best back to me. I thought Branson looked like the best back that Georgia had.
All right, let's go to Horns27. Horns27, what is up, my guy? He says, where does Texas need to build the most depth on defense? The one thing that hurt him last year was the secondary was lacking.
Well, I think the secondary was young last year, too, for Texas. I thought you had some younger pieces there that are going to continue to grow. Here's the key. at any level of football, regardless of what conference, but especially in the Southeastern Conference, you keep building that depth in that front seven, especially in that front four. We can find a way. An average secondary can survive with an elite front seven. An elite secondary cannot survive with an average front seven, especially in the SEC, because, look, it comes down to not just being able to stop the run. Obviously, you want guys that can line up at the 3-tech and go take on that double. You want guys at the defensive end that can run things down from the backside. But what it comes down to is whose ass can get to the quarterback on 3rd and 6 and more. That's what this game comes down to. Can I sit here and run 2-man in the back end and not have to bring a bunch of extra sprinkles and icing on top of the cupcake to be able to get to the quarterback? What separates good? You know this, David, from playing the quarterback position, right? What? You don't have to be a geometry major to realize the quickest way to screw something up is from point A to point B is a straight line, buddy. And a lot of those guys on that defensive line got a straight line to the most important person, and that's the quarterback.
They're big.
They're big. 2 guys touch the ball every snap. One of them throws it. That's the center and the quarterback.
I was going to buy you, boy. Says, how can LSU improve on defense this year? Last year was atrocity with the best offense in the nation.
Well, y'all better hope y'all got the best offense in the country again this year from what I saw, because Garrett Nussmeier cut through that defense like a fat kid in line at a cupcake giveaway.
In the spring game?
In the spring game, yeah. Like, what did Garrett start off? 7 for 7? They're calling him the Gumbo Gunslinger?
The Gumbo
Here's the thing. Yes, you're excited if you're LSU about how Garrett looked. But I can go and tell you, that offense ain't going to be as good as last year.
No.
Like, I'm more worried about, and you can only take so much from the spring game. But typically it's the other way. You're so vanilla that you don't move the ball like that. But if I'm an LSU fan, I've got a little bit of PTSD from watching this defense, get ran through like a track meet the past couple of years. And when I look at LSU, you still look the part. The guys look the part on defense, but a lot of it is just the open field tackling, right? Still looks suspect. I want to see if guys are going to be able to convert power to pass rush. That's something they struggled with last year. I think you're going to see a dumbing down even more of the LSU defense and just letting those athletes be athletes. But, I mean, golly, I don't know, man. I think LSU's got to go get a couple more pieces in the portal.
Yeah,
we talked about A&M and these other places getting help on the defensive line. I still don't trust LSU.
That's why I said defensive tackle. I think LSU is in the market for defensive tackles anywhere they can get them. And look, I thought Harold Perkins Jr. was going to be the best defensive player in the country last season. Sort of underperformed from that metric. I mean, it was hard not to with the way the defense played. They
got to simplify it for him for Harold Perkins. Give the man a job. Give the man a job and let God do the rest. Yeah. He's out here trying to do 19 different things. It's like the water boy. Sometimes, hey, you just got to simplify it. Hey, water sucks. Gatorade's better. I'd be telling Harold Perkins that every day.
Yeah.
I tell him every day that water sucks. All right, going to get back to the Booster Club. Remember, if you donate, we will read it. If it's on topic. If not, we'll do it at the end. We really appreciate all the donations. All right, Dave, let's get into some rapid fire.
All right, rapid fire. The NBA playoffs do start today. Blaine, you got any information on the NBA playoffs for us? I know LA's in a play-in game, playing the Pelicans, which, did they dodge a bullet by not having to play the Nuggets in the first round?
Anytime you have to not face that big Serbian, it's dodging a bullet.
So Golden State's going to play Sacramento, which, hey, Kings last year put together a little playoff run.
The Kings are the Orioles of the NBA.
This is the question.
I watched you suck for a long time, and now you're good, and it's shocking.
This is the question right now in the NBA. Are the Celtics going to blow it? That's the question. Because they're like 14 games up right now, killing everybody all season. And if I'm positive,
the Celtics got a lot of braves.
The Celtics, if there's one guy that you don't want to see in the first round, that's Miami Heat. All right, I don't want to see Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, sure.
All right, because they're the type, Spoelstra, hey, we're just going to get there in the regular season. Then when the postseason starts, I'm going to start doing witchcraft and wizardry.
So they're in a playing game themselves. Miami, Philadelphia.
Yep.
We've seen that battle, and then Atlanta, Chicago. We've seen that battle, to be honest. So that's the 4 that we got right now for playing.
The lines right now are New Orleans, the Pelicans -1.5. All right.
That was basically a pick 'em.
So they're favored against the Lakers.
Golden State -3.5. Philly -4.5, and Chicago -3.5. Zion Williams balling out.
You've been telling us about Zion.
Balling out.
What's everybody's health like right now?
I'm feeling
That
good.
ain't major.
I had a little bit of a
You're
cold
good?
yesterday.
Well, I know your tummy hurts over there.
Yeah, Blaine's got a little tummy.
Is Golden State healthy? Are the Lakers healthy?
Well, yeah, I think Golden State's healthy. It always comes down to Golden State, in my opinion. Is Draymond Green going to get thrown out of the game or not? That's usually what it comes down to.
Here's the thing. I'm going Jokic until it's not.
That's not a bad bet.
And there you go.
Like, I'm not. Listen, I'm not. I tried to not pick Scott Scheffler
Yeah, well, I was
for
just
the
gonna say.
Masters. I was like, I thought.
You were gassing up Danny Willett.
I thought. I was just, trying to will it. Thought maybe somebody could take UConn out. No, give me Jokic.
Sometimes you just got to ride with the favorite. You know what I mean?
Or sometimes you got to ride with the big Serbian that rides horses and enjoys that more than
He doesn't like
basketball.
basketball.
Who's going to argue with that? Before we leave off the NBA, go ahead and bring up clip 5 here real quick. I want to play clip 5, and the simple question is what's going on?
What?
Technically, that was an inbounds too.
Oh my goodness!
What's going
He
on?
threw the ball to the ref.
What?
Play it again. Technically, he
Of course
inbounded
it's
this
the
twice.
Hornets.
Technically, he inbounded this twice to him, right?
Play it again.
I mean, he's
All right. You didn't have to do that. I don't know why you did that.
Oh my goodness.
The ref tried to save him. Oh my God! I need to check your DraftKings account.
that's a professional basketball
I need
player.
to check your DraftKings account.
He plays in the
I don't
pros.
know.
or your
I
Bet
just-
Online account.
That guy gets to tell his grandkids he was a pro athlete.
Is this one of those Klay Thompson situations where some guy just walked in the stadium and looked alike and he got on the basketball court and started playing?
That might be it.
That would be one of the greatest feats ever pulled off.
Or does Borat have a new character? Does Sacha Baron Cohen have a new character?
I don't know, but that's bad. I've seen guys actually step over the inline. I've seen guys throw it to the wrong person. I've never seen somebody throw it, inbound it twice to the ref.
All right, next one up here. Let's go to the NFL. The Jets have a new logo. The New York Jets. Bring that up, please. Here we go. So I like the dark green.
Dude, that dark green does go hard. Cool.
So is that the new one?
Yeah, I mean,
That sucked.
who did y'all pay? Like,
Is that new?
how are the kids supposed to learn to read if they can't even fit inside the building?
I think they fit. There's the Jets logo I like to see.
There he
Papa
is.
Rich.
The father-in-law.
Look at that.
Look at that face. Look at that
Cool,
face.
calm, and
I didn't
collected.
notice a change. I thought that was the logo.
That was something
I-
making a big deal over.
I would not have even realized for a sec. I know they're way different because the one before it's even more simple. I just feel like this is one of those things where they went to an elementary school and they had a contest between like 4th, 3rd grade classes, like who could come up.
I thought it
with
was
the
that
be a
one on the
picture.
left, that wasn't their logo last year.
I thought it was just going to be a picture of Aaron Rodgers' doctor.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
That's what they
I'm gonna
really
be
need.
honest.
Doing all this not to make the playoffs.
You
I
really
don't know,
think so?
dude. Healthy Aaron Rodgers.
think
Let me
so?
see this
He's got
draft.
to play.
Let me see the. Don't give this man Brock Bowers. Don't give him Brock Bowers.
Sucker and suck attached. Brock Bowers goes out.
Dude.
Throw it to me, Aaron.
Stop.
Look, those are the
Stop.
ones you got to watch out for. Michael
know.
Phelps, underbite. You see those guys.
All right, let's stay in the NFL. Eagles wide receiver DeVonta Smith got a 3-year extension with
Smart.
Philly. $75 million for 3 years, I believe it is.
Worth every penny.
$51 million guaranteed.
Worth every penny. And they're going to need him from all these guys that are leaving the Eagles, especially up front. Question is, Jalen Hurts, man. We're going to find out.
Yeah.
We're really going to
Can
find
he
out
return to
now.
form from 2 seasons ago?
No.
Jalen?
Yeah.
No.
Was that his best season in the NFL?
He'll never be as good. After
that-
Kelsey leaves center and Lane Johnson leaves,
Now you're just becoming
you're not
worse.
going to be as good. It's going to be, I'm going to be running for my life.
Now it's
They
just
brought
gonna
in
be worse
Saquon.
Dak Prescott. That's what it's going to be.
That's good. You brought in Saquon.
They brought in Saquon. They paid Devontae. A.J. Brown seems to be fairly happy.
That's
right?
great. All that's good.
Now
and
who's
dandy.
going to block?
Yeah.
I'll do it.
The
Yeah.
best center who ever played is not there anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Lane Johnson, who's basically they pumped him full of the same stuff they gave Wolverine, whatever it is, antimantium. Like he's about to be done.
All right, moving right along. Caitlin Clark was on SNL. She also went first in the WNBA draft yesterday.
Went to the Fever.
The Fever, right? Which I found out yesterday the WNBA has 12 teams. And
I
they're
thought they
trying
just
to
had, like,
expand
3.
to 14 in 2 years. I didn't know that.
What's the WNBA?
Well, I don't know, but she was on SNL, so
That's
it
it's
good?
funny. It was pretty funny.
Not bad.
Let's run it.
I did write some jokes, and it would mean a lot to me if you read some of them. Just right over there on the cards.
Well, the Indiana Fever have the first pick in this Monday's draft. A reminder that Indiana Fever is a WNBA team and not what Michael Che gave to dozens of women at Purdue University.
That's funny.
That is funny.
I don't care if she wrote it or not. I don't care if she wrote it. Bring up another one. Do we have another one?
This year, Caitlin Clark broke the record for three-pointers in a single season, and I have three-pointers for Michael Che. 1B, 2 funnier, 3 dumbass.
That's good. I saw
Solid.
some people were upset that Caitlin Clark got chosen to go on SNL in South Carolina.
Yeah, no problem,
didn't have somebody
and good
else.
luck in the WNBA. I hope
What?
you have a great
Yeah,
person.
the number one.
They were upset.
They were upset. They said
Well, you know what they can do with their upsettedness?
What could they do with the David?
Shove it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
They get to go to the White House.
Yeah. What's it
They'll
called?
get to go to the White House.
What house?
The White House
That's
to see the
exactly
president.
right.
Caitlin Clark doesn't get to go do that. They were
That's
upset.
my problem with it.
Who
No,
was
I
upset?
listen. I just the same.
Jamel Hill.
Grifter.
Say it.
Yes.
Jamel Hill.
Jamel, I think Keith Olbermann was crying tears of urine as well. Listen, Caitlin Clark thought it was kind of funny. I'm not expecting you to be funny though. You know what I'm expecting you to do? Dribble that basketball, make that 3-point.
Yeah.
That's what I'm expecting. So I thought she did a good job. Though.
WNBA only cares if she can bring up those ratings.
Well, did you see what the Babylon Bee said? Like Caitlin Clark retires from Spotlight, decides to go WNBA.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
Seth and the dope
They never miss. Seth and the never miss.
Speaking of Seth, though, I got to give a shout out to Seth from Bar Taco. He's a fan of the show.
Seth Dillon?
Yeah, no, Seth. I think Seth's a fan of the show. I mean, we've talked to him before. Different Seth, fan of the show, and may or may not have hooked us up with some churros.
Did he hook you up with free tacos?
Churros. You know what? I've never had a bad churro. I've never had a churro.
Like
like-
Jake just holds out on everybody.
No, he doesn't.
What do you mean?
feel like
I don't hold out on
He
anybody.
doesn't. I can't leave. It's my fault. I can't leave the house. Like I'm like caged in.
Yeah,
used
what
to
are
be
you
able to
doing?
go free
I
and do
can.
stuff.
My invite. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting.
Well, that
I'm
was
still,
date-
I'm
that
still
was
waiting
date
on the,
night for
I'm
my
still waiting on
wife.
the owl to fly.
I
to
thought
my
maybe
window.
you were. I thought you were hell diving.
I'm still waiting on the owl to fly to my window.
What is that? A
and
Harry
get cool,
Potter
bro.
thing?
Yeah. That
Yeah.
it opens a note. Hey, meet me. It sets that Bar Taco, and the writing disappears.
Yeah.
And the owl flies away.
It's just
nothing, Dave.
No, you open up the note.
I
and
get
it's just,
nothing.
It's just me flipping you off, and then you.
I'll
just
take that.
Hey, what else?
That
would
was
you
date
expect
night
from
with
a
my
brother?
wife. Sorry, you can't come on date night.
When is Blaine
miss our
going?
date.
When's Blaine going on date night with your wife?
I don't listen. I'm rooting for him.
This is getting weird.
Next one up, Frozen 4. Let's bring up the Frozen 4. Director Trey said we absolutely have to talk about this because Denver, with their 10th national championship win over Boston College, now has the most all time, and they're saying this was the save of the tournament.
Let's see it.
Highway robbery. That Matt Davis, the poise.
Oh,
play
he
by
saved that?
Brown. He put
Yeah,
his
that's
hands
Glove side.
in the
That's
air because he
impressive.
thought it
Look
was
at
a
that.
good
I just
look
can't.
At this effort by
Diving
Davis.
save.
Unbelievable.
That's
Congrats,
that's
Denver.
impressive. As somebody that played third base, that's impressive.
It's hard for me to watch hockey now after Kirk.
After Kirk,
After
the Flyers.
Hey, playoffs are starting. Maybe go double or nothing.
Kirk
That's
Double or
understandable.
nothing.
Kirk won't do.
Also, talking about hockey, the Coyotes are moving from Arizona to Utah, to Salt Lake City. I hate that for some of our Coyotes fans out there. Cody Nason.
Yeah. What do you do? Like, what do you do though? Like, if you're a Coyotes fan, if you're like from Arizona and you're a Coyote, do you just stop being a Coyotes fan, or do you transition your fan?
It's like the Big Lebowski, where you just
To Utah.
stop being Jewish
Yeah. Like I don't know.
because you get a divorce.
I've never had that happen
I
before.
don't know. Maybe they'll call in. Cody, call in. Let us know how you feel about the
Yeah.
Coyotes
Phone line's
moving.
open.
Also,
Right.
Connor McDavid, 4th player ever to hit 100 assists
Yeah, it's really
in
impressive.
a season.
That's really
How nuts is that?
Well, he's like the Tyreek Hill of the NHL.
So it said McDavid is the first player to achieve the feat since 1990-91 when Wayne Gretzky had 122.
Yeah.
122 for the Kings back then. Mario Lemieux had 114 with the Penguins in 88-89, and Bobby Orr had 102 with the Boston Bruins. They're the only 2 players to have reached the mark along with McDavid and Gretzky, who did it 11 times.
Well, look, if you're going to get 100 assists, you better be in good shape. All right. Especially with summer coming up. It's beach season. All right. And with FitBod, you
Yes.
can get into great shape. Trust me, we had to use this to get in shape for the movie. It really works. We all know sticking to the same old routine can lead to a plateau in results. You get bored, all right? You got to keep the body guessing, all right? Even as you get stronger, you want to make sure you keep mixing it up so you can continue to progress. What is Fitbod? Well, it's an app that creates personalized workouts based on your goals, abilities, and gym setup while helping you track and visualize your progress along the way. It learns from your previous workouts. It adapts as you improve. It always switches up your exercises, like I said, all right, to avoid overtraining or burnout while keeping your workouts fresh and fun. Couldn't be any easier. We use it. It's like having your own personal trainer, but better and cheaper. Plus, you can work out anywhere with or without equipment, and it's easy to build your custom fitness plan. So, add Fitbod to your workout essentials today. Join Fitbod to get your personalized workout plan and get 25% off your subscription, or try the app free at fitbod.me/booster. That's FITBOD.me/booster. Get that bod fit, baby. We got Brandon Marcello coming on here in a minute. But before we do, let's get back to the Booster Club.
All right, let's go to Linda S. Hello, Linda. So do you think Caitlin Clark can make the WNBA relevant?
No. Not enough.
No, they need a values change more than just a single.
I feel like you've alienated so many people. I think people watch Caitlin Clark the first couple games just to see if it'll translate. But I don't think look, the NBA's struggling right now for ratings. It's not just like a women's thing. I think that if it has the letters NBA attached to it, they have alienated so many people that it's going to be really, really hard unless there's this overall course correction with both to try and understand kind of more of their audience and a better way to market themselves.
Agreed. I have a bigger question actually, which is, does the WNBA have a huge effect on changing Caitlin Clark? That's what I'd be interested to see, because right now
I don't see that happening
like,
either.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know her personally, but just like an all-American girl, kind of like how Taylor Swift was, honestly, when she was singing country music. And then all of a sudden, when you get into a certain industry, there's expectations that come with that. Hey, if you really want to make it here, you have to think a certain way and you have to voice certain opinions. I wonder if Caitlin Clark will follow that path.
Yeah, it's like, why all of a sudden are we at this like mansion out on an island, like next to like animals made out of wood singing in robes and stuff?
I just got True Detective vibes. Like, it's really weird.
All right, let's go to Bro Drew. Says y'all haven't talked about one big piece in the transfer portal. That's the Alabama offensive tackle that transferred to Iowa.
Caden Proctor.
Caden Proctor. You just get free semester of tuition, room, and board, and any other intimates athletes get without doing anything for the university in return. Do y'all have any update on this guy?
We did a breakout on that.
Yeah, we did. He was only allowed to go back to Alabama because that's the place where he transferred from, I believe was the rule in the timing and the way that he did it.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, there's some rule where he could only have gone back to Alabama, I think, as far as SEC teams. I think if he was going to go back to the SEC, he couldn't go from like Bama to Iowa back to LSU.
Wait, what? Now there are rules all of a sudden?
There's some rules. I've got to go and I got to make sure I'm right. Somebody will
oh,
that.
Man.
But no, look, getting Caden Proctor back, a lot of Alabama fans trashed him when he left. Had some growing pains as a young guy, but he's a hell of a player. It's just, at this point, there are very few rules, there are very few guardrails, because when you let something out like this, and it doesn't have those rules or guardrails, it's tough to put that back in the box. Now, if you go and try and do anything that's quote-unquote against the student-athlete, right, you're treated like a pariah, and none of the courts are going to grant you anything. They're all going to grant exactly what the student-athletes want, and coaches will tell you the same thing, right? Administrators will tell you the same thing, and athletes will tell you the same thing, and they're going to strike while the iron's hot.
For me, on National Signing Day, there only used to be one, that first week of February, first Tuesday in February, whatever it was, I signed a letter of intent, a contract. Even though I didn't get to collectively bargain with every other college football player or high school football player who was going to go play college, I signed a letter of intent. That's a contract. At some point, Caden Proctor had to do the same thing, right? He signed a contract with Iowa. Like, you have to honor the contracts that you sign. I don't care what these courts start saying, or if I agree with this push to have college athletes collectively bargain if we're going to keep from seeing class action lawsuits arise. I understand the pragmatism behind that, but at some point you're still signing your name to something that says you're going to commit to a certain thing.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything anymore, David.
Apparently not. It's 2024, I guess.
Yeah. Look, Florida State, the ACC, listen. Yeah, we signed it, but you didn't do what you said you were going to do. exactly how I wanted you to do.
The 12-year-old Knowles fan of me is still in shambles.
Yeah, I know.
Let's go to a $5 donation from Joshua Pizzold. With the front seven on defense and a deep group of backs and receivers, can my dogs run their schedule undefeated? Loving the show. Hashtag go dog.
Yeah. Yes, Georgia can. I will continue to say I think Georgia and Ohio State, from a roster standpoint, and after what I saw, and I know Ohio State, we talked about the quarterback situation right now. I still think that'll work itself out. I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt up there. When it comes to roster, Georgia, to me, I think has the best roster in the country. Them and Ohio State.
Tough to beat them, man.
And I watched those creatures run around again for G-Day, whatever they call it. Guess what? They're big, they're fast, and they're pissed because they missed the playoff too. People forgetting Georgia missed the college football playoff last year.
Thank God.
They would have
run
for Michigan. 'Cause they're coming. They're coming this year. And they're bringing hell with them. There's no Kirby's not in some back room having to conjure up adversity coming off back to back. You guys are the ones that blew it. You guys are the one that stopped the streak. I'm just telling you, man.
Not my fault.
It's not my fault. It's their fault. It's their fault. You have disobeyed, and you will pay the price.
Let's go to Nope to Pope. So I know you already touched on it, but I got to know.
I'm going to touch all over it.
Y'all think D. Booker is finally going to get his first championship?
Somebody
Devin
NBA?
Booker.
No.
That's the Suns.
No.
Well, I know he went and talked to Alabama for the Final Four, and they lost, so I don't know.
Did he really?
Yeah. He gave the pregame speech to Bama.
Wait, Devin Booker did?
Yeah.
Why did he give the pregame speech to Bama?
I don't know. Maybe he's just around.
Didn't he go to
hey, is
Kentucky?
anybody out there that's
Did he go
really
to
good at
Kentucky?
basketball? They're like, hey, Devin Booker's in row 6.
Huh.
Like, hey, will you come in here? Like, you shoot, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Wow.
And there it is. No, I don't think that. I don't think Devin Booker gets it.
All right, let's go to Chad.
I don't hate Devin Booker, by the way.
Phoenix is going to play Minnesota, by the way, on Saturday.
God, give me Ant.
The freak. How did you not win at Georgia with him?
God,
Was
he's
it
so
Tom
good.
Crean there? Or was it Mike White?
No, Mike White was. It was Tom Green.
It was Tom Crean.
Yeah,
It wasn't Tom Green. Tom Green.
That'd be hilarious.
This is the Tom Green show. It's not the Green Tom show. Dude,
let's go to,
that dude's insane.
Let's go to Chad Moreland. What's up, Chad? He says the coolest Jet helmet logo was when Joe Namath played. It hasn't been good since that era. Kind of like the.
There should just be an F-16 on each side of it. That's what I think. No, it shouldn't even say Jet.
Is that kind of close there? Like,
Well, hold on.
the
That's
airplane and
exactly.
the wing?
Wait. That's the new logo?
That's why I was asking.
Hold on. That logo is exactly the same as what the new one looks.
That's what I was trying
So
to
is
say.
this an old
I don't understand how.
Hold that. Can you hold that up, David? Just show the. That's the old logo. Wait a minute. Something's getting lost in translation. That's the same. That's the same.
It's the same exact logo.
I'm confused. What did you
So
do?
it's not new.
I didn't do anything.
So
you
it's not
do?
new.
What did you
They just
do?
refurbished it.
They refurbished an old. So that's not even. Y'all didn't even give it to third grade class. Y'all can't even be that creative.
I didn't do anything.
I think
Can't give it a little Pablo Picasso's great grandson.
I think it's David's fault.
Huh?
I think it's your fault, David.
Jets unveil new Legacy Collection uniform. Maybe
Legacy.
Okay. Words matter.
Now words matter.
Words matter.
They do.
All right, let's go to a $10 donation from Maximum Ball. The Maximum. Try to call in, but the lines are full.
Love it.
I'm coming to Cone's defense. Jake
I didn't do
is
anything.
the jinx.
I didn't do anything.
2022, the Vols only lost 2 games. Jake said we'd win. For every game he picks Tennessee, I'm betting all I have on Auburn.
Yes. See, he's the
How-
jinx. I don't
No
understand
way.
Make
it.
sure the lines aren't open yet. So if you're trying to call in, you're not getting anything. It's because the lines aren't open.
Okay. First off,
Your fault.
that story sucks. And second off, that's not true.
So it smells like it's
That's not true at all. I picked Tennessee went to the Elite Eight. I said Tennessee was going to break the curse. Rick Barnes was going to break the curse about not being able to get past the Sweet 16. And they did. I didn't pick Tennessee to win in baseball when they didn't make it out of their super regional, when they had the quote unquote the best team ever. I know who did.
You didn't pick them that year?
No.
You didn't
I
pick
did
them
not-
that year?
I did not pick them that year.
I did.
I did not pick them that year. Don't you
I'm
put
sorry
that evil
for
on me,
believing in
basketball.
you.
You
Tennessee.
can come in here and say a lot.
Sorry, Auburn.
You don't
for
come in the
believing
trust
you.
tree spouting that blast.
You go to the Final Four. That's on me.
All right, let's go to Sparty. What is up? It says, what's y'all thoughts on Michigan State this year? Is it going to be another disaster?
Can't be as bad as last year.
Can't be, right?
Can't be as bad as
Can't
last
be as bad as that. It's just all around can't be as bad as last year. My biggest worry with Michigan State, and they've had explosive offensive guys in the past. I mean, look at what is now taking place, I mean, on the Packers themselves with what Michigan State had. I just don't feel like from an explosive standpoint offensively, you guys have enough. I think you'll be better defensively, but it's just that roster. I don't think you've got enough playmakers right now on the offensive side of the ball to be able to stand up to the likes of Ohio State, who I think is the best team in the Big Ten. You look at, obviously, Oregon coming in. You look at Michigan will be interesting. I think they're going to fall back. We got to see, is Orji going to be the guy at quarterback for Michigan?
I don't think so.
Then they got to go get somebody,
and their spring
right?
games is next week. So, and then and my buddy Jake Butt's going to be commentating the spring game. So
we need to get Jake
we should
on.
get him
we need to get his butt on.
We should get Jake's butt on after the spring game. So
yeah, there you go. Okay.
Michigan State.
We can't have guys. Some interesting last names in that broadcast. Look at starting at quarterback. Announcing. You got Butt. You got you got all types of stuff.
Be professional.
I am being professional. That's why I didn't put it in a certain order.
Michigan State, though, I mean, Mark D'Antonio proved that not only can Michigan State be a really good football team, I mean, they can be feared in the conference. I mean, you ask some of those Michigan teams from 8 or 9 years ago.
No, Michigan State snuck up and bitten many a time.
Many a team.
Many a times and many a team.
All right, let's go to Jamie, baby. Says the SEC has more offensive-minded coaches than ever before.
Mm-hmm.
With the 2024 schedule, do you see Georgia maybe losing 3 games this year?
No, I don't.
Not at all.
No, I don't. Maybe losing 3 games? Maybe they'll lose 3 games the next 2 years.
The spring game. Can we count whatever half of the team lost the spring game?
And you're still not getting a 3.
You still won't get there.
You're still not getting a 3. No, I don't see it. And I don't say that lightly. I know a lot of people are going to be, riding Georgia's coattails this year. But I feel like, again, you look around the rest of the country, you look at the stability of not only athlete, but coaching staff, and then obviously the chip on the shoulder of not making the playoff last year. Georgia's going to be 13 flavors of pissed.
A few interesting things, though. They do open with Clemson, neutral site in Atlanta. I mean, let's just see.
Neutral site in
It's
Atlanta.
always a fun opening game. Hey, remember their first national championship year? They won that game 10-7. Right? That was the first game in Atlanta when we were doing the J-Boy show from the College Football Hall of Fame right there.
Clemson scored 7?
Won that 10-7, and then they beat everybody else the rest of the season. And also, obviously, they go to Alabama. We're going to be highlighting that game all off season. They go to Texas as well, and Ole Miss. 3 interesting road games.
Sneaky.
That's a sneaky one.
All right, we got Brandon Marcello coming on here in a minute. I do want to get back to the Booster Club here for 1 second.
All right, let's go to Burnt Brisket.
Look,
I wonder what this is going to be about. So is Lincoln Riley ever going to do anything important at USC? I'm sick of every year getting gassed up and being let down.
Not by me. Not by me. I'm going to tell you the truth. I hope so, though. I think some people confuse sometimes when I talk about Lincoln Riley and kind of his philosophy and what's gone wrong at Oklahoma and USC has basically been the same thing. You're all offense and no balance. Maybe getting rid of Grinch, maybe turning this page, we'll see a newer, more kind of overseer, to use a fallout term, Lincoln Riley, a guy that kind of puts emphasis on both sides, at least from a head coaching standpoint. But if you show me who you are enough, I'm going to believe you. He has to show me that he isn't that. And again, I know USC's recruited well. They're going to recruit well at a place like that. Until I see that mindset translate on the field, you're going to keep what else can you get from Lincoln Riley?
Yeah.
I mean, you get Heisman-winning quarterback, generational quarterback, great on offense, can blow bulbs to the scoreboard, but anytime you play anybody that's got a little bit of you-know-what about them, you lose. Or you got to win a game defensively or with special teams, you lose. I mean, you're a one-trick pony. It's a hell of a trick, David, but at some point, you got to be more versatile,
It's not going to get any easier going to the Big Ten when you're an LA school having to go to Wisconsin and Michigan and to the Buckeyes in late November and having to win those games. Lincoln Riley is a really good football coach. I mean, he won 11 games in his first year at USC. The thing is, you just can't win 7 when you have the returning Heisman.
Well, I'm wondering, David, and I know, there's he's done something as the head coach. Is he just a really good offensive coordinator?
We talk about this all the time, and I've talked about it for years when it comes to directors and directors of photography on film sets. Like some guys they need to run their position, right, and not be the head guy. I think Lincoln Riley's a really good head coach. It's just, to me, you can't be that bad on defense. Like, right? Like, even if you're not going to be the most balanced team in the country, which balance has proven to be key to win national championships. We saw it with Georgia back-to-back years. We saw it with Michigan last year. You do need to be very balanced. But even if he's going to be a little bit heavier on the offensive side, we've seen a lot of teams. I mean, Sean McVay's an offensive guy, won a Super Bowl, right? You can't be that bad on defense, and just going to the Big Ten doesn't help that. But he made a change. Right? They made a change at defensive coordinator. That's the most you can ask him to do. You're going to lose the Heisman Trophy winner to be the number 1 pick in the draft. You got to reload and just bounce back from last year.
Yeah, and I'm not worried about USC, finding a quarterback that's worthy.
True.
Like Lincoln's got that. It's again, the common denominator has been you. Yeah, you can say it's Alex Grinch, but you've been the most common denominator. You're the one that's got to institute change. You're the head coach. The buck stops with you. You're not just the OC. You're not just the DC. You're not just the STC. You're the head man. You're responsible for all of it.
All right, let's go to Jack Malley. What's up, Jack? Says, where does my Seminoles need to improve the most? FSU may be a good landing spot for the Tennessee linebacker that's coming out.
What do I think about Florida State?
Where do you think they need to improve the most? And Elijah Herring might be a good landing spot for Florida State, the Tennessee linebacker.
Well, it seems like Florida State's been a good landing spot for every good SEC transfer. You look at, you feel like half their rosters from Bama. I don't trust DJU. I just don't.
Yeah.
I just don't. Now, maybe he can make some transformation that, not that I think he's a bad player, that FSU is going to go 6-6. But when you've lost the pieces that you've lost, and I know there's still some really talented players around them. You look at that offensive line. There's reason for optimism at Florida State. But I just do not think that DJU is a guy that's going to be able to recreate that magic that y'all had last year. I know the ACC is not a totally different conference. I know it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for Florida State to win it again. But I feel like I feel like DJU is a little bit of Joe Milton with not as strong of an arm. I think he struggles consistently. I think he's a decent runner. I think he's a great teammate. I think he's a guy you want on your team. But I'm not sure if you want him to be the quarterback to lead you to the national championship. I still have a lot of questions about DJU's ability to make the routine throws routine. I really believe that.
Keon Coleman was such a great ad a year ago at wide receiver from Michigan State.
Johnny Wilson,
maybe
too.
The top wide receiver in the transfer portal. Now he's going to go to the NFL. Johnny Wilson at wide receiver is going to go to the NFL. My biggest wonder for Florida State is, can you recreate the sort of production they had, or will it even matter because you're not good enough at the quarterback position or up front for you to remain competitive even without those 2 start wide receivers?
I just feel like you have to have so much built in around DJU to be able to insulate him and put him in the best position possible where he's not the one that has to go win you the game. I don't think Florida State's at that point. Yeah. I think maybe if you did have Keon Coleman from last year and Johnny Wilson and Jaheim Bell, right, and some of those guys, you could kind of hide him as much as possible at quarterback with a good run game. This year, I'm just not seeing the amount of that ability on the outside to make it so much easier for DJU that he doesn't have to be as crazy as it is to say, because the quarterback is the focal point, he doesn't have to be the main focal point of the offense to be able to operate at that level. Having some issues with Brandon Marcello here. We're going to stay in the Booster Club. The phone lines are open. David, you let me know. We'll get to calls early as well today. If you
I will show you one thing here while we're waiting on Brandon Marcello. This clip of Angel Hernandez over the weekend. Did you guys see this?
Oh, this is bad. This is bad. Let's play this. It's a ball. He had the worst at-bat in umpire auditor history.
Yeah! Is that true?
Yes, so the worst grade in an at-bat.
He called that strike 3.
I mean,
how many times a year do we talk about this guy?
Well, where you got to let batters start challenging. You got to let it happen.
Well, I don't think the batter challenge. I think the coach challenge. I do like one of those. Here's my thing, though. And I think something and I make fun of Angel Hernandez as much as anybody. I think he's got pictures of somebody. I think he's probably a troll, if we're going to be honest. But is there some merit? We're sitting here in the top of the fourth, okay? I know the bases are loaded. You know, it used to be that if an umpire had his zone, if he was consistent in that zone, you were fine with it as a hitter and as a coach and as a pitcher. All right, now those balls are outside. But is there something to be said if that pitcher's been working that pitch the whole time and he's been getting it and he's shown you the ability to control it? I'm fine with every once in a while giving a little bit on either side of the plate, maybe giving a little bit up or down. Mm-hmm. The problem is Angel Hernandez has such a bad reputation, and he has lost all of my equity built up that I would give you to think this isn't nefarious.
Yeah, or
I
else
think
we would
nefarious.
just be saying, look at how this Major League Baseball umpire missed these 3 straight calls. But instead we're saying Angel Hernandez did it because we already know him by name.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a foot outside.
Yeah. And
I get what you're saying. There are certain umpires have different strike zones.
Well, I want to make sure to differentiate Angel Hernandez from everybody else because there's not another umpire in Major League Baseball that I would sit here and say is on this level of just bad.
It kind of like they do in the minor leagues, and I don't know why they don't do it in the majors, and they do it in tennis, right? A batter and a pitcher should be able to challenge a striker or ball.
Every time?
Well, if you win, the challenge, if you win your challenge, you should. I watched Paul Skeens do it an entire batter, all 3 strikes that called ball, and he challenged each one of them.
We'd be there forever.
And got K.
Now, you can't do it 162 game regular season. What you do is I think each team gets one. You get one a game. I think you get one a game. And the pitcher, the coach has to call it. The coach has to call it. I think you get one a game.
And the tennis is interesting because they have the line judges, right? And this is in majors I'm talking about here. I don't know what they do in the smaller tournaments, but if a player feels like the line judge missed the call, then they go to the automated overhead, robot to determine whether or not. Well, some of the majors, or at least one of them, has started just using that as the call. So robot umpire to get rid of the line judges. And now that's just the call, so you can't challenge that.
Yeah.
That's what you would be challenging to anyway.
I just feel like if we get into the habit of you can challenge every pitch, why would I not challenge every single closed pitch one way or the other? We'd never get out of the 5th inning. Like, we'd never get past the 5th.
Well, you wouldn't have them if you lost your challenges.
So what if you kept winning them? What if Angel Hernandez kept screwing up like that and it just kept going? You kept winning.
Well,
you kept winning.
Maybe Angel Hernandez will finally get fired.
Well, if they haven't fired him now, they ain't firing that cat. He's only been in the league 75 years. Been in the league longer than the bases.
And they made him bigger. All right, let's go to Tech Guy 52. Says, what's your thoughts on Georgia Tech this year? Could it be a big year and maybe they can pull one out against Florida State in Ireland?
Look, Brent Key and them, they believe. You see that spring game? I mean, hell. It wasn't no Science Olympiad contest they were showing up to watch. I think Georgia Tech may be back, fellas. And what I mean by back is not, running shop, but the Ramblin' Wreck is back in a problem. And, we love Jeff Collins on here, but you got to tip your hat to what Brent Key's done. Yeah. Now, we'll see. They're not sneaking up on anybody this year like they snuck last year. I think Miami may take a knee this year if they get the opportunity, but you talk about common denominator, what Brent Key's done, at least early over there. I mean, that was no walk in the park either. I'm excited for Georgia Tech. I am. I'm hoping they get that bad boy turned around.
Let's go to Matt on sports. Angel Hernandez equals the Tim Donahue of the MLB.
What did he say?
Angel Hernandez is the Tim Donahue of the MLB.
Tim Donahue, yeah. Well, we may find out that he's been hanging out with Shohei's interpreter. That wouldn't shock me. All right, we're going to get to phone calls here. Having a little trouble with
I got callers on the
Marcello,
line,
but I'm sure we'll figure it out.
I got callers on the line if y'all want them.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go to Riley in Utah. Riley, what's up?
How's it going, boys?
Riley, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Riley?
I'm in a blender right now, gentlemen. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, God.
Tell us about it.
Glass case of emotion?
I don't know. Oh, yeah. It's a roller coaster of emotions for sure.
Golly, strap in.
I don't know if y'all have heard the news about the Arizona Coyotes moving to Salt Lake City.
Yep.
Super jacked and tan about it, not going to lie.
Love that.
But my question is do I jump ship off the Seattle Kraken and follow the Salt Lake City team, or do we stay loyal?
Well, it'd be nice for somebody from Seattle to get off crack.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so you live in Utah, correct?
Yeah, we lived up in Seattle.
It is
when I started
okay.
following.
Okay, so you lived in Seattle. You moved to Utah. Here's what I will say, Riley. This is the Jake Crane interpretation of what's going on. I'm very geographical, right? It's like, hey, we had some people that were British that went over to the New World, and now we're American. All right, I'm at where my feet are. So to me, I think you could actually be both. I wouldn't consider you a fence jumper.
Disgusting.
Because, can I finish talking before you say something? Riley, here's what I'm saying. You lived in Seattle, you moved to Utah, and then a team followed you to Utah. So it's not like you chose one or the other. I feel like you could root for both. Now, you can only truly have one team, though. So that's a decision you're going to have to make. But for me, it's a fresh start, you in Utah. They're coming from Arizona to Utah. Why don't we just look each other in the eyes? They do nothing but treat new teams like royalty in the NHL.
Yeah.
I'd go all in for Utah, but are they going to be the Utah Coyotes?
I don't know.
No, so they're actually there's a deal with the NHL where if they get a stadium built for the Coyotes, Gary Bettman has guaranteed them an expansion team that can be called the Arizona Coyotes.
Okay, so maybe
Interesting.
So we don't know what the Utah team would be.
Well, you're in a little bit of a different situation here than a lot of people. Like David or Valtar. You're not rooting for North Carolina. You're not rooting for two good teams.
Mine was value-based.
Right now.
Value-based.
Coyotes, not great. Kraken, not great. But let me tell you what you can't do. You can't root for both.
On the ground floor on the Kraken.
That's
Kraken. The Kraken were good in that second year.
You can't root for both. All right? We're not that type of people here. All right? You pick one team, and you go all in for that team. And you stay behind that team through bad and good. All right? Whether that's the Coyotes or the Kraken. But you can't have both.
There is no Coyotes right now. Like, that's the whole point.
Well, look, Riley, here's what I'll say. As a Georgia boy who watched Atlanta lose the Thrashers, how many times was it?
Yeah.
Not just once, maybe
thrashed.
not even twice. Like, if you want that hockey team to remain in Utah, you're going to have to support them to keep them there. I think that's why Nashville cares so much about the Predators. They saw what happened in Atlanta. They saw Georgia lose their hockey team multiple times. And they're like, hey, if we don't go all in on this, like, the South won't keep a hockey team just to have one. So,
Riley, it's an interesting situation. I'm glad you called us to
support them, brother.
Be able to figure it out. Did that help you out?
I think so. I think it's going to come down to what they decide to name the team. If they name it something really dumb, I'm not leaving. The
that's huge.
A great name, great.
And a cool logo.
Yeah.
What should they name it? What real quick? What would be approved by you? The Utah what? The Utah Miso Saris?
That's the one on I've been seeing online is the
Yetis.
I'm not big on it. Yeah.
I don't
Utah Yetis. I don't hate that.
To be honest, that's kind of gas.
With the Sasquatch? Like with a big
we have
foot?
the ghost pirates.
David.
Me in the ghillie suit?
With the
Utah
big
Yetis?
foot.
Don't.
Hold on.
Bigfoot, yeah.
Someone out there, go ahead and put them
What about the Utah?
Me and the ghillie
What
suit,
about
Utah Yetis?
What about the Utah Mormons?
I'm trying out for goalie.
That's good, Trey. I can't say that, though.
Yeah, it would. I don't know. It's going to probably come down to that to see who gets the 1 seed.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting. We'll see.
Appreciate it, Riley. Hey, thanks for calling in, man.
Well, we know if it goes the way it's going, they'll probably be like the Utah.
Hey,
you know what? I'm not even going to say
Stay
that.
jacked and tan, brother. All right. All right, let's go to Trey in Atlanta.
Utah Miso Sorry.
It's a bowl of soup with a frowny face.
Trey, what is the face?
The Utah Miso Sorry. It's like
What's the
Utah
logo?
Miso
bowl of
Sorry.
soup with a frowny face.
Oh yeah, the fa. A little.
Trey, what do you think? What do you think about the Utah Miso Sorries?
That's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was really hoping that Atlanta would attract the Coyotes because we're building that stadium in Gwinnett.
Can we just beat the Phillies in the playoffs?
Trey, am I right about?
Can we just do one thing before the other?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, also the problem with the Thrashers was, not to get me completely off topic because I got a bunch of I want to talk about something specific, but the problem with the Thrashers is the ownership purposely tanked them and wanted them out of here. Like Like that's a known thing. Like the ownership tanked the team to sell them to Canada. Like that's so the Thrashers are doing really well here. They actually were. And then the ownership just didn't give a crap and shipped them off to Canada. But anyways, so three really, really quick things. I don't want to get bogged down in. One, the pinned comment. I don't know who put that pinned comment up there, but the phone number is wrong and the time to call is wrong.
Wow.
It was really cool seeing Voltar at the baseball game, at the Braves game.
Nice.
Really good guy. From enemies to friends, only in the Booster Club.
You love to see it.
Jake, I have a bone to pick with you because
here we go.
Acuna is clearly the better 5-tool player than De La Cruz. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
when did I say Ellie De La Cruz is better? When did I say De La Cruz is better?
You said there's not another 5-tool player better than him.
Okay. That doesn't mean that he's better than Acuna. I never said he's better than Acuna. I said that I didn't know if anybody was better than him. They can be on equal footing. I think when you look at it speed-wise, Ellie is faster than Acuna. He covers more ground than Acuna. I will take Acuna Jr.'s bat and arm over Ellie De La Cruz, but I don't think it's some crazy comparison. Acuna's got a cannon. Acuna's got a cannon.
Breaking records.
I know, but I still got to judge arm strength.
No. I'm saying Acuna naturally covers more ground than De La Cruz does because
I don't know about that. I know it's different positions, but if you had to get somebody to track a ball, like to run down a ball, you would pick Acuna over Ellie De La Cruz.
Not now, not with the knee. No.
Okay, well then can we black eyed peas and meet this thing halfway?
Yes, I think they're probably very comparable, but I think Acuna has proved that he's like the best 5-tool player since.
I don't think you're wrong. I don't think that's an asinine statement, Trey, or that I think you can argue that one to the cows come home. I just think I could argue my side of it too.
Mike Trout entered the conversation.
No, you're
somewhere.
right.
Yeah. Mike Trout.
5-tool players.
The main thing I wanted to discuss just really quickly was the Scotty Scheffler thing. I'm glad you guys covered it. Amazing guy. He's really grown on me the more and more I watch him. The fact that he just goes out there, doesn't say anything, very nonchalant, not high, not low, just even killed, the same expressions all the time. And then the fact that he's just out here just preaching the gospel, right? I mean, I know, Blaine, I know you don't like it in people's faces, and I don't think he really does that. But he slapped out the Bible in the full swing, which is probably why he's not in the season 2. And then he's talking about how I'm going to leave the tournament if my wife goes into labor. Well, that's crazy. Like that's insane. And this thing where he's like, golf is not my top priority. Like for him to even just say that, which is obviously true in today's world, like he's like, it's like 3rd or 4th on my priority.
Well, it's so refreshing because now all our stars are so self-centered.
Yes.
They're so self-serving.
Yep.
They're so arrogant, and they're so afraid to take a stand on something and be who they really are.
And materialistic,
and materialistic. That when somebody comes along and you're like, hey, it's just a normal dude with abnormal abilities that's using his platform to really just be himself. It's unbelievably refreshing because we don't get that flavor ice cream a lot. You know, it's this, or they just raided P. Diddy's house, or it's this, that, or the other, or JoJo Siwa is trying to rebrand as some crazy lesbian. Like it's nice it's different, and that makes it good.
And one more thing about Scotty too is people who hate him or like him, or hate him or love him, either way, you can thank both Tiger and Rory for him figuring out his putting situation, because Rory dropped a comment at the Genesis Invitational, which is where Tiger was supposed to be. He was supposed to be commentating instead of Rory, but he got sick, right? So Rory came in and they asked him about Scotty, and he's like, Scotty's game is impeccable except for his putting. If he can figure out his putting, he's going to go a long way. And he's like, as a matter of fact, I think his putting was best when he used this grip and this putter. I think he should go back to that. Next week, he brought it out and has been on an absolute tear. And I'm telling you, I'm not saying it's 100% due to Rory and Tiger getting sick and then Rory stepping in, right? But he said it, and then literally the next weekend, he brought it out, and I'm pretty sure he won that tournament. Or he was top 3 again.
Wow.
Like his putting all of a sudden got good enough to win the tournament.
Well, he ain't done either. He ain't done either.
So
I'm just glad that Bryson DeChambeau fell apart the way I thought he would after I did the long line like that.
Yeah, he just putted terrible down the stretch, man.
Look,
not bad. I mean, terrible.
Like, I like Bryson's game. Like, the scientific method, all clubs are the
He
same.
plays gorilla ball.
Like, I'm the same way. Like, like you get up there, fairway finder. Let's just try to hit. No, like, swing out of your shoes.
He hit one over a tree, and I think Dottie Pepper. There's no. He's the only one taking that line today. Yeah. Like no one else was hitting it over the tree to land in the fairway.
Yeah, well, he's also a monster. Like Bryson DeChambeau is huge. Like, look at his face.
The best thing about him is him stop wearing that stupid goofy beret that he used to wear.
Yeah, I can just see him like eating just like 9 Arby's.
But there's something about guys, especially Scotty Scheffler. He makes it about everybody else and not himself.
Yeah,
right.
Love it. Appreciate
Thanks,
it, Trey.
Trey.
Hey, what did you say first is wrong about the? Is there something pinned that's wrong?
There's a pinned comment.
It's fixed
from you got from the channel. That both the
just
phone
on today's show.
and the
Okay.
pinned comment.
Well, hey, if you're gonna get something wrong, get all of it wrong. You know what I'm saying? Go all in.
The number was right.
Trey, there's a dispute.
Trey, there's
the
a
number.
Look, I don't pin things.
It was,
Yeah.
hey,
That's my job.
there's 9 digits. There's a 9-digit and a 10-digit number. So unless it's been changed.
Okay.
It's thank you, Trey.
Trey, we
don't worry,
appreciate
someone
that,
will
sir.
suffer.
Yes.
It was very,
Someone
very,
will.
very productive call.
I just think about like the Da Vinci Code, the dude that's hitting himself.
Oh man.
There's a Jacob on the line in California. I'd like to hear what he has to say. Let's see what he has to say. Jacob, what's
California.
up? California.
What's up, Crane and Crow?
What's up?
I gotta ask about Notre Dame and them not joining a conference. It's starting to annoy me a little bit.
Okay, please, let's talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking, do you think they will join one before this season, or is that possible? And then, which conference do you think they should join?
Number one, hey, good luck out there in California, Jacob. I'll see you at the convention, the J convention this August. I'm really excited. I'm going to speak for the first time there, me and Jake Paul. But no.
Your tangent you got going, Jake.
Okay, would you just stop using the one word you learned from the movie?
You want Tyson to lose now?
Don't make this about
Blaine like tries to put a word. He tries to put in like the one word.
Don't make
he's
this
learned all
about me.
year.
I just didn't.
No, but before the year, no chance. Notre Dame is not joining a conference before this year. Down the road, Jacob, here's my question. Without a doubt, Notre Dame is the best-looking girl left at the dance when it comes to brands that are not associated with the conference because, obviously, the cachet of Notre Dame and the media rights deal that they have with NBC that's worth its weight in gold. My question is, eventually, if we get or when we get to this mega conference, Super League with one conference is ESPN, the other one's Fox, at some point, if you have 24 teams in your conference or more, that 12-game regular season schedule is going to have to be all teams in your conference, right? To be able to have that marry itself out. Well, if Notre Dame isn't in one of those two conferences, they're not going to play anybody. Nobody's going to schedule Notre Dame. So almost by force or by factor or faction, Notre Dame is going to have to enter a conference or some sort of breakaway league. If the Power Five breaks away from the Group of Five, they're going to have to enter at some point because I'm not scheduling you if I've got to play 12 other teams in my mega conference. Why would I do that?
I've always said Notre Dame should join the Big Ten, not just a conference. Like you're a Midwestern school. Like you belong in the Big Ten. And I know there's all sorts of drama goes way back. Michigan.
Geography doesn't matter anymore, David.
All that kind of stuff. I've started to think that, man, Notre Dame has really navigated this no conference alliance really,
Do you think
really
their value keeps getting? Well, the question is like, does their value keep going up?
It hasn't. At least hasn't gone down.
We have to go into a conference eventually.
And so whatever's coming, the thing that's coming, the entity that you're talking about, either the two mega conferences or whatever college football is going to look like after that next deal is put in place, like I think that's what they're strategizing for, and they really have done a good job. If they can get around the COVID stuff, when we only had to play conference schedules and they like sort of were pseudo in the ACC and they're still there when basketball, but they played an ACC schedule, but not really. If they can navigate through that, they've been just fine.
Yeah,
I'm so sick of talking about this.
Well, it's fascinating.
Join a conference for God's sake, please.
Hey, they're the Globo Gym. They're better than you, and they know
We're
it.
trying to make fetch work. Join a conference. You're in the ACC. We know it. You're not cool. You're not
anymore. Not anymore. Not anymore. Maybe in basketball.
God, it's like Cowboys fans. It's every year. You're not going to win it. Join a conference.
Below break cage one day.
What do you think about that, Jacob?
What? Well, I agree with everything besides Blaine. I mean, it's funny how
I agree with everything besides Blaine.
Auburn's not going either, buddy.
Don't bring Auburn into this. Hey, we get killed every year, but damn it, we know what conference we're a part of.
We know what conference we're getting.
I know who I am.
I just wanted to. I'm going to the Warriors playing game tonight.
Oh, nice.
I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on the game. If you guys think that we can beat the Kings again, it'd be kind of nice.
Well,
hate us so much.
Well, it's like Blaine said. How many minutes is Draymond Green going to get to play in this game?
That's true.
And the second thing, do you like the over tonight? 224. What do you think? Would you take it? Like, let's say you had to do a betting segment in like 10 minutes, and you had to pick one of your bets was that over. What would you do? Probably.
I would say over. I mean, it's Curry.
Yeah.
Say that again.
How do you not pick? I mean, it's Steph Curry playing. How do you not pick the over?
That is true. That's true.
A good bet.
All right, I feel better.
So,
about
do
it.
you go to games often, Jacob, or is this your first game of the season? Like, how are you feeling about the NBA right now?
This will be my second one.
Okay.
I get that you guys aren't big into it. I get it. They're very political.
I want to be.
But
I want to be.
I know. I totally understand it.
There's still a Michael Jordan fan in me that wants to still love the NBA. But anyway, hey, call in next week and tell us how the game was. All right?
Yeah. I think. Yeah, and let us know if that. Congratulate me on that overhitting. We can enjoy it together, Jacob.
All right, let's go to. Thanks for the call, man. We got another one.
Yeah, let's go and get. We should have Brandon Marcello in here.
Oh, is he in?
As we kind of wrap up. If you're on the line, we're gonna definitely. There he is.
Oh,
Brandon, can you hear me? Bark twice if you're in Milwaukee. Can he? Okay, well let's. Can you hear me now? Okay. Let's go to the Butcher Club real quick.
All right, let's go to Tevin T. Tevin, what is up, my guy? He says, I don't know what's the deal with all this Jake Paul talk. Is Jake Paul and Jake Crane now best friends?
No. I'm just saying I don't dislike the guy as much as what I thought I did. I still don't like him. All right, I'm not saying I want to go hang out with Jake Paul, but I'm saying the more he talks, the more I think he's realizing that Mike Tyson may beat him up. That's what it sounds like to me.
You think so?
The more I hear Jake Paul talk, the more it sounds like he's afraid Mike Tyson's going to beat him.
Vegas doesn't think so, man. He's like minus 300 right now.
Final. It's final.
All right, let's go to DC. Says, I know he lost his case, but I'm wondering if Angel Hernandez is still an umpire since he sued the MLB for racial discrimination.
I don't know. That's a good question. I think he's got pictures of somebody, and it's probably Rob Manfred.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, well, look, there's no telling with Angel Hernandez. But our good buddy, Brandon Marcello, is now with us. Brandon, hello, my friend.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, man? Thanks for hopping on. Look, I want to get right in this thing. We talked about the transfer portal window earlier. This is kind of I call it the Czech Cola version of the transfer portal. You know, there's going to be some nice pieces. I love a good Czech Cola, Brandon. You're from the South like me. I'm sure you've walked into a place and got you a couple Czech Colas before. But when you're looking at some teams right now, and we've mentioned some at the top, but is there a couple teams that you think are really going to have to take advantage and maybe plug some of the holes to the ship in the spring transfer portal window?
Yeah, I look at Alabama in the secondary. I mean, goodness gracious, they lost, I think, more than 8 guys from the defensive secondary after Nick Saban retired. They need to fill some holes there. Recently, you saw the news at Penn State with Lambert Smith, the receiver, leading receiver, going to the transfer portal. They were already kind of thin there and needed some explosiveness. And they really, as we've known under James Franklin, they have really struggled to stretch the field for whatever reason, whether it's because of scheme or just because of talent here in the recent years. Well, now they got to hit in the portal and see if they can find someone, maybe 2 people, to kind of fill some holes there. But when you're talking about contenders out there, like an Alabama or even a Penn State, they've got some obvious glaring holes that they've got to fill. And I'm not certain that there's the type of talent out there to come in there and not only make an immediate impact, but also be a star or even superstar. And when you look at teams in the SEC, like in Alabama, what also hinders them in the portal right now is that they can't go get transfers from within their own conference, within the SEC, because of an SEC rule that does not allow players to transfer within the conference after February 1st and be immediately eligible. So in a lot of ways, Alabama's got one hand tied behind their back, but you can bet that they're going to go spending money and looking elsewhere across the country to try to find some guys in the secondary, because they are really hurting right there.
Well, it's number one, I do like that rule, the interconference rule after February 1st, unless the head coach were to leave, which really doesn't happen after spring. But I feel like if the head coach leaves, then you should be able to. But look, it's one thing, it's really disappointing when you have to go outsource your beef when you live on a cattle farm that's so good right there, and that's what Alabama would have to do kind of in the secondary. I want to stay on that Penn State note, though, for a second, Brandon, because, again, you're a guy that's tapped in around the country. When you look at pressure, and we talked about there may not be a team that benefited more from getting rid of divisions than Penn State and in the Big Ten, but when you look at some of the pressure that's on James Franklin now, after last year, once again, not being able to get over the Michigan or the Ohio State hump, and now Michigan has won a national championship, do you feel like there's a lot of heat on James Franklin and them to go ahead and show, hey, maybe we can make that move now that we're out of this division? Because, I mean, when push came to come to shove last year, they were basically just a kind of a better Iowa.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's interesting. You got two teams within the Big Ten where I would say Iowa does not get a very good handle or shake from all this, getting rid of divisions, whereas Penn State actually it benefits them.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. With the playoff expanding, I think that actually helps James Franklin, because there's a couple of his teams previously with 2 losses that would have made the college football playoff.
Agreed.
And this expanded field's going to adjust the expectations of fan bases across the country, where I think to some fan bases, winning a conference title is not going to be as important as just getting a playoff and win a game or win 2.
Yeah.
Get us a home playoff game. I think that might actually help James Franklin, who notoriously, as we know, just has not really been able to be in contention for the Big Ten title here in several years. But because of their schedule and because of all the games they've won, they would have eked into the playoff a couple of times without really ever being in the Big Ten title hunt. So I wonder, when we talk about having a little bit of a heat check for his hot seat, yeah, I think it's warmed up a little bit, but goodness gracious, if he wins 10 games, heck, we might even see a 9-3 Penn State someday get into the playoff. And I think that would almost kind of revitalize the fan base and what their outlook is with James Franklin, because right now it's just get us in the playoff and see if we can make some noise, and who knows what happens.
Yeah.
2 years ago, he was the hottest coach in the Big Ten, the favorite for the USC job. And since then, he's won, 10 games each season? It's wild. Brandon, in 15 days, when the portal window closes and we bring you back on here, which teams are most likely to have won in the transfer portal and lost in the transfer portal?
I like that.
Well, just look up and down the list of what's the mid-tier teams and what are the elite teams every year. The mid-tier teams are going to get really just robbed, and they're going to lose a lot of guys, and the elite teams are going to get the good ones. I look right now, I don't think, for example, we talk about mid-tier teams. Ole Miss has always been a mid-tier team, but Lane Kiffin's changed things there. Their NIL collective has really changed things there. They got a lot of money, and they have been working the portal substantially well. I don't think they're done yet. And you guys saw what they did back in the fall window, where they were just loading up on guys to complement an already talented roster. They're all in on trying to win a national championship this year at Ole Miss, believe it or not. And they got talent they got there and they're stockpiling. They're still not done. They've still got a few guys they're going to add that are going to make some waves here, I'm hearing, here in this spring portal. So we talk about the elite getting some great players, but there's a team in there that's always been considered mid-tier that is really going to make a big splash and has been making a splash. And that team, to me, is still Ole Miss. It's going to be fascinating to watch the Rebels here these next couple of weeks.
Damian Martinez, the running back from Oregon State. Quinn Sean left to go to Ohio State. We'll see where he ends up. Ole Miss, I think,
that's a position they need to fill.
Is in the fold there.
All right, Brandon, let's get some questions from this chat. We're going to start off with our resident Arkansas fan with the Heartbroken Hog. Hashtag Ask Brandon. How excited are you to see Taylon Green in Petrino's offense?
Well, been hearing great things about him. And the thing is, Bobby Petrino got hired at Arkansas and immediately went after Taylon Green. He's like, I want that guy. And Sam Pittman said, go get a quarterback. I'm not stepping in. You get the guy you want. And he said, that's the guy I want. A lot of comparisons being made behind closed doors to Lamar Jackson. I'm not saying he's as talented as him, but that's kind of his skill set that really Petrino's really latched onto with him. His leadership skills are fantastic. Won a Mountain West Conference championship last year under an interim head coach at Boise State. And then this past Saturday in their spring scrimmage did very, very, very well. And that maneuverability of him really brings a different dynamics to Petrino's offense. But what really helps Taylon Green in Arkansas is that they upgraded along the offensive line in the transfer portal. They went from bad last year to pretty good this past spring. And Petrino, behind closed doors, I'm told, is very, very happy about where they're at offensively, but especially along that offensive line, which is surprising to me. It's going to be interesting to watch the Razorbacks this upcoming fall, especially on offense.
Well, Green's an elite runner of the football. This guy is his thing at Boise State. He couldn't hit open receivers. People were having to lean. If he could just, and Petrino, I'm telling you, everybody keeps talking about, and I get it, Jalen Milroe taking that next step, becoming even more of a pocket guy, which I don't think they need to give him too much. If Taylon Green figures out a way to throw from the pocket and just be okay, Arkansas is a problem on offense. I watched a student at Boise State be a one-trick. We talk about one-trick ponies and it being a hell of a trick. If he adds another move to it, it's going to be a problem.
All right, let's go to JRMO979. He says, Brandon, what's your thoughts on Michigan being able to keep their defense intact after the portal?
Well, it'll be interesting to watch. Listen, I think as much as criticism Michigan's been getting here in the offseason, they still got a lot of talent offensively and defensively. And I don't see them losing really all that many guys in the portal this upcoming session. But I will say this, a lot of the bigger programs are facing this starting today in the portal. A lot of backups, a lot of second-team guys, some role players. They've been getting offers and everything here the last couple of weeks. And I've been talking to coaches across the country saying, I don't know what to expect when the portal opens. I might have a guy come in here on the day of that I wasn't expecting saying I'm entering the portal. I can't tell you how many coaches across the country just yesterday I was texting with saying, I don't have anybody entering the portal right now, but I'm scared that a lot more are going to come into my office tomorrow because I keep hearing rumblings even within my own team, but no one's talking to me. Yeah. These coaches are out there sitting on a limb and the storm's rolling in, and they're just trying to see if they can hang on and survive before that limb breaks off the tree.
Yeah, well, it used to be you just recruited to add players to your roster. Now you're having to recruit the players that are already on your roster to stay on your roster.
It's a mess, man.
And it's how you build culture. I don't know. But, Brandon, whatever portal it is, we're glad whenever you're able to come through it and join us, my friend. It's always great to have you. Thanks for getting up with us this morning. I know it's a crazy time for you. Please tell all our audience where they can find your great work. One of my favorite follows for sure.
Just go to 247sports.com. And like I said, the portal's already churning and there's going to be some crazy things happening these next couple of days. Some names we weren't expecting.
Definitely. Well, you need to be following Brandon Marcello. Also, Braves fan, I believe, there as well. So, no. What? Brandon, you're not.
Get out.
Brandon. Say, who, Brandon? Who is it, Brandon? Do you have a team?
I'm not a baseball guy.
Wow.
I've never been a baseball guy.
Soon to be Braves fan. Brandon Marcello.
God, you look good in pinch.
It's like a vampire. Just let me sink my teeth in you just one time, and all of a sudden you're a Braves fan. But Brandon, thanks so much, buddy. It's always great to talk to you.
See you guys.
See you, man. All right, Brandon Marcello, one of the best in the business. I know we got a couple calls in line, Dave.
Can I just get at least one call?
Let's go.
We got a bunch of people in line, but Pokey Texan called yesterday, so I got to get to Pokey Texan today. What's up, brother?
Pokey, what's up, dude?
Morning, fellas. You got me cooking breakfast, but I can multitask.
God, I love it. What are you cooking?
What you eating, man?
Cajun eggs, homemade biscuits.
Ooh.
About it.
Oh.
Hey, we wrap up pretty soon, brother.
I'll
be over there.
He just doesn't Pokey Texan give you that Jimmy Dean commercial vibe when he's like, know those mornings where it's just you can't get out of bed and you hear that sizzling sausage, get your ass out of bed.
You wake up in the morning
and get up and get your ass out of bed.
I'm actually family with a local sausage maker.
God. I tell you what, Pokey, can we just come hang out?
Absolutely.
Look, we'll sign me up.
About 30 miles west of Waco. Come on anytime.
Down. I'm down like
Look, I'll be like Scott Drew. Keep my ass to Waco.
I'm
bud.
driving though. I ain't flying.
Yeah, I'll see you in the. I'll show up in the driveway.
I appreciate y'all getting to me this morning.
Of course, man.
Jake, my 12U Little League team needs you, buddy.
You okay?
We have lost the first 2 games in heartbreaking fashion. Second game just this last weekend, we lost on a walk-off pass ball.
Oh.
And,
all right. The 12 and under? 12 and under?
12U.
What's the name of the team? The Sidewinders.
The Sidewinders.
The Sidewinders. All right. Give me the motivational music. All right, Pokey. You're the head coach?
No.
All right. Just assistant. All right. Play the music. I need all the Sidewinders that are about 30 miles west of Waco to listen up! Kids, these days. I tell you what, you grab success by the horns. All right. You don't grab it from the side. You may be Sidewinders, but you take it head on. 0-2, it's just a start. This is baseball. The regular season lasts forever, even for 12 and under. Now, you'll have people tell you, oh, winning's not the most important thing. Guess what those people are called? Losers. That's what they're called. Winning is important. We don't need any more pass balls. You're the Great Wall of China, all right? You're the Iron Fist. Nothing gets past you, not even a sentence. So Sidewinders, let's go. Team up. Pokey Texans got you. He may be the assistant, but he should never be second in your mind. And remember, Crane & Company salutes you. Sidewinders.
Hey, Sidewinders.
I appreciate.
Hopefully that helps.
I got one quick thing.
Go ahead.
Before y'all get to bed. I'm me in college baseball, college football. But right now, college baseball. I appreciate all you Tigers out there. It sure is easy to say that the only team worse at winning games, teams worse than winning games in my Astros are all the Tigers this last week. Even Clemson lost.
I know. Look, the Stros lost again last night, but I tell you, I talked about LSU from our best and worst yesterday. It's just weird, man. But look, college baseball, baseball can turn on a dime. But no, I mean, the Astros will figure it out. I probably need to put a future in for the Astros right now.
Hey, my Aggies take #1 spot. I'm not a big fan of that. I think it's just setting them up for disaster.
Curse.
With Arkansas being last.
Well, just don't talk about
As long as David doesn't pick him, you should be all right.
Yeah, as long as Cone doesn't pick you.
Y'all
guys,
didn't see my Bet Online account? I already put a $150 future on them.
That's good. Well, hey, congrats on half of a good year.
With you, David.
Yeah, I love it. Good luck. All right, Pokey. Thanks, buddy.
See you, man.
All right.
Hey, everybody else on the line, thanks so much for the call-ins today. Y'all call in tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
please.
yes. We will get to call-ins early tomorrow. Gonna get to donos after this. Bets for tonight. Went 1-1 yesterday in hockey because, well, you can never rely on Senators to get anything done, especially when you have the over. They scored no goals. The Rangers scored 4. But that's all right because the Penguins won, beat the Preds. Tonight, going NBA because there is nothing else. Pelicans, money line. That's right. Caw against the Lakers. We all know a Pelican makes that sound. And -110. And then my buddy Jacob's going to be there. Golden State, Sacramento, the Kings and Warriors over 224. Please, God, please.
All right, boys, 2-0 yesterday thanks to the Royals, and we hit the Boston Nerfy as well. So double Nerfy today. Let's go with the Rangers-Tigers. No runs first inning. That's -125. And then I want the Giants, and I want the Marlins. No runs first inning, -135.
Right. Got me a Marlin.
2-0 yesterday as well. I'm still staying on the Nerfy train. Give me Mets.
Shut up.
Pirates, Nerfy, -142. Then Mariners, Reds, Nerfy, -150.
Ace, he's going to take the Braves, money line, -115. Then the Royals, Kate Middleton style, on the run line, -1.5. That's going off at -110. When you're supposed to lose to the Royals on the run line and it's -110, you know you suck, White Sox. Sorry, Shapiro.
Also, update here. Umpire Angel Hernandez lost again in his racial discrimination lawsuit against Major League Baseball when a federal appeals court refused to reinstate his case on Tuesday. The Second Circuit Court of Appeals upheld the 2021 District Court decision that granted MLB a summary judgment. This was from August 2023.
Cool. All right, let's get some donations. Let's go to Finley O with the $8 donation.
Finley O'Reilly. Oh, Finley.
Parts. Hi, guys. What are your thoughts on the United Football League? Hope all is well.
I think it's good. I don't know why the Stallions had Funny Man as their guest of honor. He's the guy who tried to start the riot in Birmingham. You remember that guy? The comedian? He was actually has some funny stuff. But he was like during like the riots, like in 2020, whatever. He was like, I seen they burned down some stuff. He's like, maybe we need to burn something down in Birmingham tonight. Home of the Silver. And then he tried to go on and say that he didn't say he wanted to start a riot.
And the Birmingham Stallions featured him?
Yeah.
I don't know him.
But anyway, I think it's a better product than the XFL and the USFL separately. I do think that.
Let's go to $5 donation from Charles Dossett. What's up, Charles? I'm in Sacramento for work this week.
Go to the game.
Should I spend the money to attend the Kings Warriors game?
Yes.
Tonight.
Last time I was in Sacramento, I saw a homeless dude with his eye popping out. It was so messed up. It was an outdoor mall.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to a $5 donation.
What? It's a true story.
Let's go to a $5 donation from Nick Bates. My late dad taught that when it comes to breakfast, you should only drink milk because the juice will kill you. Here's the OJ's Prohibition.
Oh, it's an OJ joke. I love it.
Let's go to Prankster Boy, $5 donation. Who do you guys think is the greatest Miami athlete of all?
The greatest
Marino.
Miami athlete?
Unless we're just talking about the University of Miami.
Michael Irvin?
Are we just talking about the school or just anywhere in Miami, any sport?
Did he just say Miami or did he say University of Miami?
Said Miami.
Look, if we're talking pros too, give me Dan Marino. It takes me back to my childhood.
We're
For the
talking
university,
greatest
though,
athlete to play for Miami? To me, it's Tyreek Hill.
The university, though.
I don't know
if you're talking university, it's
Miami
Sean Taylor.
In general.
We're talking.
I'd put Dwayne Wade up there.
I'd go Ed Reed or Sean Taylor.
Well, LeBron played in Miami too.
Oh. What about Leo Messi? He played.
Who's the greatest University of Miami athlete of all time, though?
Who is the wide receiver that I'm thinking of?
Michael Irvin?
No, other one. God, he was a freak. He was like the one who started, like when Miami started with the bad boy image stuff. He was like
Michael Irvin?
No, David, it's not Michael Irvin.
How about Willis McGahee? Willis McGahee was
up there. That's one of the worst.
And Frank Gore.
Frank Gore was nice.
Warren Sapp went to Miami, didn't he?
Jason Taylor.
Didn't Warren Sapp?
Warren Sapp was Miami.
Warren Sapp was Miami.
Yeah.
God, they've had so many good ones.
All right, let's
hell,
go.
That thing we saw down at the Senior Bowl playing safety.
Good God. It still haunts me, dude. $2 donation from Timothy from Green Bay. Reminder, Jake is still in a gay men's choir.
I am not.
But forget that.
I am not. The straight men's choir. We're straight. Hoo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba.
Last one of the day, another donation, $5 donation from Charles Dossett. Thank you, Charles. Jake, link me and Jacob on social media. The Jake Convention, the Booster Club can attend the Warriors game together.
Charles, you can't get tickets to the Jake Convention. Your name's Charles.
How dare you?
Middle name? The middle
name? No, it's got to be first name, has got to be Jacob.
He identifies as Jake.
I don't care what you identify. I don't play that game.
Poll. Did you watch the WNBA draft?
No.
Yes? No. Hell no.
Hell no, 42%.
Hell no, 79%.
Yes. 10%.
Oh, nice.
No, 49%. Hell no, 41.
Wow. All over that. All right, we appreciate you guys. Shout out to Brendan Marcello as well. Got a great show for you tomorrow. Going to get to calls earlier, so if you didn't get your call in today, we're going to get to it tomorrow. You guys are the best. And like the chances of the spring portal window not being open, we're going.
Swat.
Gone. I may be the greatest card catcher of all time. Oh, please.